Imagine standing in a quiet place, away from noise, away from people, just you and a question. A question that looks harmless at first. So small, so simple. But the longer you stare at it, the more it grows. It starts to pull apart your instincts, your emotions, and the rules you use to decide right from wrong. This is the strange power of the trolley problem. It takes a moment that would never happen in real life. A runaway trolley, a lever, a choice, and turns it into a window into your own mind. A window that shows what you value, what you fear, and what you believe is moral when nothing feels comfortable. People think the trolley problem is about calculations. 5 lives versus 1, action versus inaction. But in reality, it reveals something much deeper: how you make choices when every option feels wrong. So today, we're going to walk through this famous thought experiment the simplest way possible. No jargon. No philosophy vocabulary. Just a human question and the surprising ways different people answer it. Let's begin. There is a moment in philosophy that almost everyone encounters, even if they've never studied philosophy at all. It begins with a simple question. A train. A track. A split-second decision. And a choice that almost no one feels comfortable making. It's called the trolley problem. A tiny little thought experiment that somehow manages to crack open some of the biggest questions in ethics responsibility and what it means to make a moral decision. And the surprising part is this: the trolley problem was never meant to have a right answer. It was meant to reveal something much more interesting: how we think. So today, we're going to walk through the trolley problem in a way that requires no philosophical background, no technical terms, no abstract theories, just simple, clear storytelling, and an honest look at why this small imaginary scenario has fascinated thinkers for more than 50 years. Let's begin. What the trolley problem actually is. Imagine a trolley racing down a track toward 5 people who cannot move. You are standing next to a lever. If you pull the lever, the trolley switches tracks. But there is one person on the side track. If you do nothing, 5 people die. If you pull the lever, 1 person dies because of your action. 5 lives versus 1 life. Action versus inaction. Responsibility versus innocence. So what do? Most people answer quickly, as if the question is obvious. But the moment you stop and think, something strange happens. You realize this tiny scenario contains 2 completely different ways of thinking about ethics, ways that live at the center of almost every moral disagreement in the world. The 2 hidden ethical instincts. The first instinct is simple: save the most people. In this view, the moral thing to do is to minimize harm. 5 deaths are worse than 1, so pulling the lever is the better outcome. This is the instinct of logic, of numbers, of wanting to reduce suffering. The second instinct is just as strong. Don't directly kill someone. In this view, pulling the lever means you caused the death of an innocent person. Even if the overall outcome looks better, the act itself feels wrong. Some things, like intentionally bringing about someone's death, feel unacceptable no matter the math. These 2 instincts collide inside the trolley problem. And different people lean toward one instinct or the other, depending on emotion, culture, personality, and experience. Why people split into 2 sides. Psychologists have studied why the trolley problem divides people so evenly. Part of it is emotional distance. Standing near a lever feels different from physically harming someone. Part of it is how we imagine responsibility. If you do nothing, you feel like the tragedy wasn't your fault. But if you pull the lever, you feel responsible for the 1 person who dies, even though you saved 5. And part of it is something deeper. We're torn between 2 stories of morality, one that cares about results and one that cares about actions. The trolley problem forces these 2 stories to collide in a single moment of choice. The famous extension. The fat man scenario. Now imagine a second version of the problem. This time you are standing on a bridge overlooking the tracks. There is no lever, but next to you is a very large man. If you push him off the bridge, his body will stop the trolley and save the 5 people on the track. You will save 5 lives, but only by actively pushing a person to their death. Most people who were comfortable pulling the lever suddenly refuse to push the man. Why the result is exactly the same, save 5, lose 1. But the action feels different. In the lever case, you didn't physically harm anyone. You redirected harm. In the fat man case, you become the direct cause of someone's death. Your body pushes their body. It feels personal, violent, intentional. This shift exposes another layer of morality. Intent matters. Distance matters. Physical involvement matters. And the emotional weight of an action changes the moral judgment. Even though the math is identical, the moral experience is not. A third version, when the one person is someone you know. There's another twist. What if the one person on the sidetrack is your friend, a sibling, a partner, your child? No matter how logical your previous answer might have felt, suddenly it doesn't feel so simple. This version reveals something important. Morality is not just about reasoning. It is shaped by relationships, loyalty, empathy, and personal identity. You may save 5 strangers over 1 stranger, but would you save 5 strangers over your sister? The trolley problem doesn't judge you for whatever you choose. It just shows you how your values shift when the story becomes personal. The real philosophy behind the trolley problem. Explained without jargon, people often assume the trolley problem is about right or wrong, but that was never its purpose. It was designed to reveal how 2 different moral instincts live inside the same brain. One instinct says, good actions make the world better. Choose the outcome with the fewest deaths. The other instinct says, good people follow certain rules. Some actions are wrong, even if the results look good. One is about consequences. One is about principles. And every ethical system we use, from hospitals to governments to robotics, is built on some mixture of these 2 instincts. Modern applications of the trolley problem. The trolley problem isn't just a classroom puzzle. It appears in real life more often than you might think. Doctors deciding how to allocate the last few ventilators in a hospital. Engineers designing self-driving cars that must pick the lesser of 2 dangers. Governments choosing policies that save lives overall but may harm certain groups. Firefighters deciding who to rescue first. Resource shortages, triage decisions. Disaster responses all echo the trolley problem. In the real world, we rarely see tracks and trolleys, but we constantly face situations that trade one harm for another. The problem has no correct answer. Here's the key thing everyone misunderstands. There is no official answer to the trolley problem. No answer that philosophy declares right. No solution that everyone must follow. The goal is not to find the correct response. The goal is to understand your response, your values, your emotions, your instincts, and what you consider morally acceptable. The trolley problem isn't about ethics in general. It's about the ethics inside you. So, what does your answer say about you? If you choose to pull the lever, you may value reducing overall harm, even if that means making a painful decision. You may see morality as maximizing good outcomes. If you refuse to pull the lever, you may value moral integrity, avoiding actions you see as inherently wrong, even if the results look worse. You may see morality as following principles, not calculations. Neither position is blind. Neither is foolish. Both contain wisdom, and both contain tension. The trolley problem reveals the story you tell yourself about what it means to do the right thing. The final insight. When you step back, the trolley problem becomes something almost poetic. A clean track, a simple choice, a hard question. But beneath that simplicity lives something enormous, the entire structure of moral thinking. It shows that choosing the right thing is rarely a matter of pure logic. It shows that the heart and the mind often disagree. It shows that morality is not a tidy set of rules, but a living mixture of principles, emotions, consequences, and human limitations. Most of all, the trolley problem reminds us of this: ethical decisions do not reveal what the world is. They reveal who we are. When all of the versions of the trolley problem fade away, the lever, the bridge, the stranger, the friend you're left with, something far more important than the puzzle itself. You're left with the way you think, the way you judge responsibility, the way you balance emotion against logic, and the way you respond when doing nothing feels wrong, but acting feels even worse. The trolley problem has no official solution, no answer printed in the back of a book. Its purpose is not to tell you what's right, but to help you notice how complex your sense of right and wrong truly is. In the end, this tiny imaginary scenario reminds us that morality isn't a formula. It's a reflection of what we value. It's shaped by our relationships, our fears, our culture, and our humanity. And sometimes the hardest choices don't reveal what the world demands. They reveal who we are. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay thoughtful, and keep exploring the questions that don't have easy answers.